A very good evening to all of you. I hope you all are doing great. In this today's class, we will understand very important concept. If you want to join a top law firm, this class is most important for you. Let's begin the concept with the help of example. Let me first of all share a screen with all of you so that you can understand the example in the easy language. Just a second. Yes. Just so for an example, in the last classes, we have completed the concept of share subscription agreement and share purchase agreement. In this today's class, we will try to understand the concept of business transfer agreement. The business transfer agreement or the business purchase agreement, as the case may be. Both are same thing. Okay. So let's start this concept with the help of an example. Let's say, beta, this is Corporate Guru Private Limited, for an example. Corporate Guru Private Limited. Okay, sir. Now, this company has one business, let's say the education business, for an example. This company has an education business. Okay, sir. Now, there is another edtech company, for an example, Prashant Private Limited. What is happening? Prashant Private Limited is very much interested to purchase the education business of Corporate Guru Private Limited. So, this Prashant Private Limited is inclining to purchase the business, the education business of Corporate Guru Private Limited. Now, this Corporate Guru Private Limited will still exist, but the business will be carried out by Prashant Private Limited later on. Now, I have a question for everyone in this case. Now, as per your opinion, first of all, which agreement will be executed in this case? What do you think? Give me the answer in the chat box. Yes, sir. Let me see the chats. So, business transfer agreement, Isha, Akshit, Prashant. Very nice. Very nice, all of you. Yes, sir. Business transfer agreement will be executed. Just give me 2 seconds. Let me plug in my charger. But the today's concept is most important. Just a second. Yes. So let's study now the concept of business transfer or business purchase agreement. But in this case, the business purchase agreement will be executed. So, sir, now I have a second question for everyone. As per your opinion, whether the approval of shareholders is required, the approval of the shareholders of Corporate Group Private Limited is required to sell the education business. As per your opinion, what do you think? Akshit, Hitesh, Prashant. Okay. Everyone is saying, Siddharth is also saying, yes, sir, yes, sir, yes, sir. But the answer is no, sir, no, sir, no, sir. So why? Let's now study the concept. The answer is no. shareholders' approval is not required. That is why I always say that apart from the drafting, the knowledge of interconnected law is very essential. Let's now study the concept. Isha, very nice. I hope you remember the concept. Now, let's study this. Do you know which section deals with the concept of business transfer agreement in the Companies Act 2013? The answer is section 180 of the Companies Act 2013. Section 180 of the Companies Act 2013 deals with the business transfer agreement for an example. Understood. Now, let me tell you one thing. If your company is private, section 180 will not apply. And whenever section 180 does not apply, in that case, the approval of the shareholders is not required. So as per your opinion now, see this. This is Corporate Group Private Limited. Okay. So this Corporate Group Private Limited is transferring or selling the education business to Prashant Yadav or Prashant Private Limited. What do you think? Whether now the approval of the shareholders is required in this case? The answer is no. Very nice, Jasmine. Very nice. No, sir. The approval of the shareholders is not required as per section 180 of the Companies Act 2013. Let me show you the bare act to understand the concept in the easy language. Just a second. Now see this beta. Chalo, let's study the whole concept with the help of an example. Now, section 180. The board of directors of a company, okay, shall exercise the following powers only with the consent of company. Company means with the consent of shareholders by passing a special resolution. So what is the meaning of special resolution? In simple word, 75% consent of the shareholders is required. Understood. So the first point is, in normal cases, whenever company transfer the business, in that case, the approval of the shareholders is required. But let me tell you the loopholes of section 180 of the Companies Act. But to understand the loophole of section 180 of the Companies Act, you have to first of all understand the definition of undertaking. What we have to understand? We have to understand the definition of undertaking. Now, so what is the meaning of undertaking? Whenever, for example, Corporate Group Private Limited proposes to sell the undertaking, then only the approval of the shareholders is required. So what is the meaning of undertaking? Let me tell you this with the help of example. Undertaking means an undertaking in which the investment of the company exceeds 20% of its net worth as per the audited balance sheet of the preceding financial year. Let me give you the example. See this beta. And I will confuse you. Let's say beta, this is Corporate Guru Limited. Okay, sir, no problem as such. This Corporate Guru Limited is having only one business, let's say the education business for an example. No problem, sir. Now, what is happening in this case? Most important for everyone. This Prashant Private Limited I will confuse you. Prashant Private Limited is now inclining to purchase the business of Corporate Guru Limited. And this company, Corporate Guru Limited, has only one business, education business. As per your opinion now, if this company is transferring the education business to the Prashant Private Limited, whether the approval of the shareholders as per section 180 is required, yes or no? Hitesh is saying yes, Sareem is saying yes, Neha is saying yes. Okay, now students are saying yes because this is not a private company. But please, we have to understand whether this education business is the undertaking. Whether this education business is the undertaking for Corporate Guru Limited. And to understand the concept of undertaking, there are two criteria. One is the investment criteria and one is the income criteria. One is the investment criteria. The second one is the income criteria. Sir, if, for an example, you know very well, let me give you the example. We need to check the percentage of investment. Very nice, Prashant. But don't you think that this Corporate Guru Limited has only one business? So all the investment will be made by this company into this business only. But for an example, beta, let me give you one practical example. Let's say this Corporate Guru Limited has three businesses. One is education business, one is printing business, for an example, and one is book business, book selling business. Okay, no problem. For an example, this is just for an example. So there are three businesses of this Corporate Guru Limited. Prashant Private Limited wants to acquire the education business only. This education business only. Okay, no problem as such. Now, to understand section 180 of the Companies Act, whether the approval of the shareholders is required, we first of all have to understand whether this education business is the undertaking, yes or no. Now, let's understand the concept of undertaking. To understand the concept of undertaking, there are two methods. One is the investment method, one is the income method. If let's say, beta, the net worth, so what is the meaning of net worth? Net worth means assets minus liability. So what is the meaning of assets? For an example, this property is the assets. And what is the meaning of liability? The responsibilities are the liabilities. The amount due to some another person is the liability. So assets minus liability is my net worth. So for an example, beta, the net worth of Corporate Group Limited is 1,000. Understood. And this company, Corporate Guru Limited, has invested in the education business rupees 200. What do you think? Whether the education business is the undertaking as per the section 180 of the Companies Act 2013? What do you think? Please give me the answer in the chat box. Yes, everyone, do let me know. If the net worth of this company is 1,000 and the company has invested 200 rupees in the education business, and if Prashant Private Limited is inclining to purchase the education business, what do you think? Whether the approval of the shareholders is required? Do let me know the answer. Akshit is saying no. Ishu is saying yes. Siddharth is saying yes. Hitesh is saying yes. Neha is saying yes. One student is saying no. Prashant is saying, no, the required amount for section 180 is 25%. No, beta, this is not 25. Now let me show you the bare act language. Most important. Undertaking means wherein the investment exceeds. This is the most important word. If the investment exceeds, how much? 20% of its net worth. So my net worth in this case is 1,000. And the investment is only rupees 200. That is exact 200. It is equals to 20%. But whether this amount exceeds 20%, the answer is no. The investment does not exceed 20%. It means this is not the undertaking. And if this is not the undertaking, then the approval of shareholders as per section 180 is not required. Doesn't matter whether your company is a public, doesn't matter whether your company is a private. But yes, if your company is a public company, still section 180 will not apply because this business is not the undertaking. Understood? Yes, sir. So there are two methods to classify as undertaking. One is the investment method. The second one is the income method. Now let's study the concept of income method. Now see this video. Let me first of all rub all these things. Just a second. Just now see this video. An undertaking which generates 20% of the total income of the company. Now let me show you the example. Let's say beta, the total income of Corporate Guru Private Limited is 1,000, not the 1,000, 10,000. Okay, 10,000 is the total income. Out of 10,000, this Corporate Guru Limited earned rupees 2,000 from this education business. Now, Prashant Private Limited is inclining to purchase my education business. What do you think now? Whether the approval of the shareholders is required as per section 180 of the Companies Act? The answer is yes. Very nice, Sareem. Jashan. Very nice, Akshay. So proud of you, Siddharth. So yes, now the approval of the shareholders is required because there are two criteria. One is investment, or the second criteria is income criteria. If my income is 20% or more of the total income, then it will be classified as undertaking. Second one is if my income, not the income, if my investment is exceeds 20% of my net worth, then again, such business will be termed as the undertaking. Okay, sir, go to your point. Let me show you various examples. You are very much requested to give me the answers in the chat box. Okay, sir. So let's say, beta, this is Corporate Group Private Limited. One condition must be fulfilled. Is that so, sir? Yes, Prashant. Either the investment or the income. Out of two, one condition must be fulfilled. That's the only concept. Okay. So see this, beta. This is Corporate Guru Private Limited. And this company has education business. All income from this business only. And there is no other business of this company. A person is interested to purchase the education business of this company. What do you think? Whether section 180 will apply in this case? Yes or no? Yes. Okay. Very, very nice. Akshay, Jasmine. No, sir, because this is a private company. Prashant Sareen. So proud of you. The second question, most important example in front of you. Let's say that this is a corporate guru limited. Okay, sir. Limited, it means it is a public company. Yes. So this public company has two business. One is the food business, one is the education business. No problem as such. Now, this is most important. Income is 1,000. The total income of the company is 1,000. Out of 1,000, the food business has 300 rupees income and this education business has 700 rupees income. Okay, so no problem as such. Furthermore, the investment in the business, let's say, beta, if I have the investment of rupees 500 in this education business, I have the investment of rupees 150 in the food business, and my net worth is 800 for an example. Now, as per your opinion, please do let me know whether this food business, is the undertaking, yes or no, whether this food business for this company is the undertaking. Yes, because the investment exceeds 20%. Yes, very nice, Akshit. Neha, Akriti, so proud of you, beta. Siddharth, yes, sir. And again, beta, this education business is also the undertaking in this case. Understood. But let me give you the another example. Understood, sir. So, for an example, let's say this is case number one. I am selling business. And the investment in this company 150 only. Investment in this company is 150 only. Whether the approval of the shareholders is required. My net worth is, let's say, beta, 1,000. The answer is, in this case, sir, not required.
Hello.
Whether in this case, the same is required if the investment is rupees 200. What do you think? If the investment is rupees 200, the answer is no, because in the investment criteria, there is a word that is exceeds 20%. Understood, sir? No problem as such. Very nice, not required. So, if my investment in this business is rupees 204, whether the approval of shareholders is required, the answer is yes, sir. Very, very much required. And again, in this case, yes, sir. I hope now you must have understood in the what are the various cases wherein the approval of the shareholders is required. This is the most difficult concept to understand the business purchase or business transfer agreement. I hope everyone must have understood this concept in the easy language. Yes or no, Veda? Please do let me know. Yes. Yes, sir. Very, very nice. Now, let's understand. This is the Companies Act 2013, Section 180 that we have understood. Now, let's learn the concept of Income Tax Act 1961. Sir, yes, we will also study the taxation part. We will also study the Companies Act part. Everything we will study so that you will be at par with a legal professional or a practicing professional having expertise of 5 to 10 years. So you will be at par. That is why I am giving you a knowledge, practical knowledge of every aspect. So let's study now the concept of Income Tax Act 1961. What does it says? This is most important. In easy language, let me give you the example. Let me give you the example. The Income Tax Act 1961 says, if you start a business, let's say the education business, if you start the education business for an example, okay. Now, please try to understand the example in the easy language. What does Income Tax Act 1961 says? This is the education business and this is corporate guru private limited. Not the corporate group. Chalo, let's say corporate group private limited. Sir, this is a private company. Whether section 180 of the Companies Act will apply? The answer is no. But sir, whether the provisions of Income Tax Act 1961 will apply? The answer is yes, beta. The provisions of Income Tax Act 1961 will apply in every case. Whether it is a private company or a public company, doesn't matter. Understood. Now, sir, please try to understand. If you have started the business, let's say I have started the business on 1st of Jan 2020, 2015, for an example. And let's say, brother, this is the food business, for an example. And this food business I have started, or this company has started on 1st Jan 2019. Okay, no problem is such a. What will happen if I, that is Corporate Guru Private Limited, will transfer the education business? What will happen in this case? What does Income Tax Act 1961 says? Now, let's try to understand this in the easy language. Let me tell you this just a second, but let me just give a message. Just a second. Yes, brother, see this. If what does Income Tax Act 1961 says? It says if you have started the business 36 months before, or in simple word, you have to check whether you have completed 36 months. You just have to check whether you have completed 36 months. For an example, this education business, whether this education business has completed the 36 months, yes or no? The answer is yes, sir. It is. It has completed 36 months. Again, whether the food business has completed 36 months, the answer is no. This business has not completed yet a period of 36 months. What will happen now? This will be a long-term capital gain. Long-term capital gain. And this will be the short-term capital gain. Okay, sir, understood now the point of yours. This will be a long-term capital gain and this will be a short-term capital gain. What will happen now, sir? Now see this. If it is a long-term capital gain, you have to give 20% tax. Yes. If it is a short-term capital gain, then in that case, you have to give 30% as a taxable amount. You have to give 30% taxation to the government. I hope you must have understood the relevance of long-term capital gain and short-term capital gain in this regard. Okay, now let me first of all show you the bare act language in this case. This is section 50B of the Income Tax Act 1961, which says that you have to check 36 months. If it has not completed 36 months, we will categorize as short-term capital gain. And if it has completed 36 months or more, then we will regard this as a long-term capital gain. And now you know that taxation rate. In the long-term capital gain, the rate is 20%. And in the short-term capital gain, the rate is 30%. Now, I hope you must have understood the concept in the easy language. Please do let me know, Beta, if you have any doubt with respect to the Companies Act 2013 or with respect to the Income Tax Act provision. Isha is saying one doubt. If you are asking one doubt, you are very much allowed to raise your hand one by one. Yes, Isha, you are allowed to unmute, Beta.
Sir, a very good evening, sir.
Very good evening.
Sir, 20 सर आपने बोला LTCG में 20% टैक्स लगेगा, right?
Taxable amount. So what is the taxable amount, right?
Right. What 20% of what?
20% of taxable amount. So how we calculate the taxable amount, that is again a different class. This is the next class. How we calculate the taxable amount. Okay. But this is 20% of taxable amount.
Sir,
and this is 30% of taxable amount. Yes, Isha?
20% of taxable amount, that is what I'm asking. Taxable amount कैसे निकालेंगे?
Yes, that's what I am saying. That this is a next class concept, right?
Okay. ठीक है.
How to calculate the taxable amount? How we will calculate, sir? Yes, there is a concept of indexation. Do you know this?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I know.
Okay, so we will understand this, how we can calculate this taxable amount calculation, etc. in the next class. But this is just the basic class to get you aware with respect to the business purchase agreement. That what are the various concepts with respect to the Companies Act and with respect to the Income Tax Act 1961. Any doubt to anyone? Yes, Isha, any doubt to you apart from this question?
No, sir. No, sir.
Very nice. Yes, Akshit, you are allowed to unmute.
Good evening, sir.
Very good evening.
Can you please explain explain the provisions of Section 50B of the Income Tax Act?
Okay, Section 50B says in a very simple language, Akshit, that if you have completed 36 months or more, and if you are transferring the business now, in that case, it will be categorized as long-term capital gain. Okay. But for an example, if your business has not completed 36 months as of now, then in that case, if the income or if you have received something, we will categorize the amount as short-term capital gain. Got the point?
So what amount would be categorized as long-term and short-term?
Whatsoever you have received.
Received, sir, as in?
As, for example, Array, if Prashant Private Limited is purchasing my business, don't you think that he will or the company will give some money to me, the Corporate Guru Limited? Yes or no? Try to understand, Akshit. See this. Let's say, beta, this is the example. Yes, here it is. The Prashant Private Limited is purchasing my business, this education business. Don't you think, beta, this company will give cash to the Corporate Guru Private Limited or the Corporate Guru Limited? Yes or no? Yes, sir. So this cash will be a long-term capital gain or a short-term capital gain. Got the point?
Yes, sir.
Are you in the stock market? No, sir.
Little bit, sir.
Little bit. Now, please do let me know if it is a intraday trading. Intraday means you purchase the share and you sold the share.
Yes, sir.
Whether it will be a long-term or a short-term capital gain.
Short-term, sir.
Because yes, you can see in your Demat account here it will be written it's a short-term capital gain. Because 36 months concept again. You just purchase and you just sold the shares. You got the point now?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Any doubt for anyone? Akshit, any other doubt?
No, sir. Sir, the interest rate slab, sorry, the percentage of that, can you explain again? 20%.
The slab will not attract. There is an exact percentage, 20% or 30%.
In which will it be 20%, in which will be 30%?
In the long-term capital gain, beta, in the long-term capital gain, it will be 20%. And in the case of short-term capital gain, it will be 20%. See this, beta. In the long-term capital gain, it is 20%. And in the case of short-term capital gain, it is 30%. You got the point?
Yes, sir.
Any other doubt, Akshit, or to any other person? I guess no. Yes, Akriti, Dhruv, any doubt to anyone? Nitesh, so that we can move ahead. Yes, sir, we can move ahead. Let me show you one practical example or a template. See, we have completed the basic of the business transfer or the business purchase agreement. Let me show with all of you the practical example so that you can understand the same in the easy language. Just a second. Yes, see this beta. This is, what is this, sir? This is business transfer agreement. Now, you know very well section 180 of the Companies Act as well as 50B of the Income Tax Act 1961. So see this, beta. This is the Punch Lords Limited, the practical example in front of you. And this is Punch Lords Industries Limited. It is a seller. This company is a seller and this company is the purchaser. So what they are selling or purchasing? But a business, undertaking. Now, what we have to check? What we have to check? These questions will come into your mind. Whether section 180 applies in this case, the first. Whether section 242C, it means long-term or short-term in easy language, will apply. What will be the impact on the existing employees? For example, let me show you this. Let's say there are 10 employees of Corporate Group Private Limited who are working in education business. Sir, if Prashant Private Limited is purchasing the education business, what will happen to those 10 employees of Corporate Group Private Limited? Whether they will lose their job, what do you think? Yes or no? If 10 people are working in the education business and the Prashant Private Limited is purchasing the education business, what will happen now in this case? Whether they will lose their job, yes or no? It is the discretion of the company, Prashant is saying. Okay, but yes, I will let you know, can be kept on probation. Okay, but law is very strict in this case. I will let you know, but law is very strict there. You just have to learn. No need to worry about the same. Okay, sir. Now see this. Any tax benefit? Yes, Isha, beta, you are allowed to unmute.
So,
Anji.
what is, so I got confused between section 242C and 50B. What is 242C?
This is
And
just
what is
beta,
50?
long term or short term, just a long term, short term.
And what is 50B then?
It is a slump sale, slump. I will let you know slump sale meaning.
No, that's fine. But what is 50B then? 50B also you told same.
See this, beta. Let me show you this. This is okay. This is okay. Now see this, beta. What is this? See this. Section 242C is the definition of a slump sale. Okay. Section 42C is the definition of slum sale. It's just a definition. Now, what section 50B says? 50B says 36 month concept. Got the point, Isha?
Certainly, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Now, let's see this beta. Just a second. So, what will be any tax benefits here? We will understand. Who will pay the stamp duty? Who will pay the registration charges? Again, we will understand this. Okay, who will pay the existing dues? Again, that we have to check. That we have to check. So if we answer all these 6 questions, then only we can say that we are an expert in business purchase or business transfer agreement. But to be called as an expert in this, we have to learn these 6 questions. And furthermore, beta, we will understand again the business transfer agreement close by close in the next class. In this today's class, we just completed the important, or you can say the overall part with respect to the business transfer agreement. Yes, Akshit, you are allowed to unmute.
So can you please scroll to the 6 points again?
Okay, see this. These are the very important 6 points. Otherwise, see this. Whether section 180 will apply, that is the first question. Second question is whether section 242 of the Income Tax Act 1961 will apply, that is the second question. What will the impact on the existing employees of Corporate Guru Private Limited who are in the business of education? For an example, yes. So what will happen to them? Second example is what will be any tax benefit? Is there any tax benefit that we have to understand? Who will pay the stamp duty? Yes, if business is transferring, you have to pay the stamp duty. So who will pay? Prashant Private Limited will pay or Corporate Guru Private Limited will pay. Furthermore, who will pay the registration charges? You have to get your business transfer agreement registered. So who will pay the registration charges? Furthermore, let's say beta, if Corporate Guru Private Limited has an obligation to pay the outstanding salary of education business employee for rupees 5 crore. So who will pay these outstanding to the Corporate Guru employees who are working in the education business? So these are the 6 questions that we have to understand through the example mode. I hope you must have understood the important or the basic concepts with respect to the business transfer agreement. I will let you know each and every clause one by one. No need to worry about the same. But I am giving you the assurance that you will be at par with a practicing professionals having expertise of 5 to 10 year minimum 5 to 10 years. So no need to worry about the same. If you still have the doubt with respect to the introduction part, you are very much allowed to ask me any doubt with respect to the share purchase, there for the share subscription, and this one, the business transfer agreement. Any doubt to anyone? Two participant has raised their hand. Yes, Dhruv, you are allowed to unmute.
Good evening, sir.
Very good evening.
Sir, I have few more doubts in the share purchase agreement.
Okay.
Can you please open it once? I'll just let you know clause by clause.
Very nice. Just a second. Share purchase agreement, right?
Yes, sir.
Just a second. Yes, madam. Which clause?
Sir, in the section 6, specifically 6.4, in the A part, there is a mention that sellers are the owner of the sale shares. And again, in the B part, it is mentioned that all the shares are held by the sellers.
Are fully paid. This one.
Are fully paid and beneficially owned. So what's the difference between the owner and the beneficially owner?
Okay, very nice question. Let me give you the example, Dhruv. See this, beta. There are two types of owners. Okay. One is the registered owner. One is the registered owner. And one is the beneficial owner. So, what is this registered owner, beneficial owner? What is this, sir? Let me tell you the concept in the easy language. See this, beta. Let's say, beta, this is Reliance Industries Limited. Okay. This is a Reliance Industries Limited. And this company has only, let's say for an example, this company has only 10 shareholders as of now. Okay, so no problem as such. Now, this company is launching the IPO. It means this company is taking funds from the public, and in return, this company will allot the shares to them. What will happen now in this case? That is the first question. Now, let me tell you this. This Reliance Industries Limited will first, step one, this Reliance Industries Limited will allot its shares to NSGL or CDSL as the case may be. So what is this NSGL or CDSL? Do you know this? These are depositories. These are the depositories, just like Paytm Karo. Yeah, just like Paytm. What will happen now in this case? This NSGL will allot now the shares to us. Let's say Prateek, Dhruv, etc. and etc. So in the register prepared by Reliance Industries Limited, Reliance Industries Limited will say that the company has allotted this much shares to NSGL or CDSL. So they are the registered owners. As per Reliance Industries record, they are the registered owners, NSGL or CDSL. But actually, whether the shares are held by NSGL or CDSL, the answer is no. They will later on transfer the shares to Prateek, Dhruv, etc., etc., and etc. In that, there is a concept of DP, depository participants. For example, what was that? Motilal Oswal, Grow app, one is Angel Broking, etc., etc. So these are depositories participant. We open our account here and we just purchase the shares. So who are the beneficial owners? Beneficial owners are actually the Prateek, Dhruv, who actually holds the shares. But in the register prepared by the Reliance, Reliance will say that this NSGL or CDSL are the registered owner. You got the point, Dhruv, now?
Yes, sir. So in this agreement, the sellers are the registered owner and they are the beneficial owner as well.
Yes, just let me show you this. See this, beta. All of the sales shares held by the shares are fully paid and beneficially owned by seller. It means, beta, in this case, you have to check whether the seller is the beneficial owner or the registered owner. You got the point?
Yes, sir. And then what is meant by clause A, in which there is just normal mention
The
of
seller are the owner. Owner means whether the registered owner or the beneficial owner, it is not mentioned. But yeah, seller is the owner. You got the point? Owner has the two category. One is registered owner, one is the beneficial owner. So in the first point, you are just saying that seller is the owner. And the second point, you are saying whether the seller is the registered owner or the beneficial owner.
Yes, sir. I got it. Again, sir, in the same point in the clause F.
In the clause
Uh,
F.
There is mention of options.
Yes.
What are options?
What are options? Okay. Do you know in a stock market there is a concept of F and O, future and option. You know the point. This.
Yes, sir. That call input thing.
Yeah, this is the options. That's the
Um,
same option this agreement is saying. Know the
okay,
point,
sir,
Drew?
so there's no difference.
There is
as
no
such.
difference. The option is same like stock exchange. This stock exchange.
Correct, sir. Got it. Then in clause H, there is again a mention of beneficial interest,
Correct.
which is to be transferred to the acquirer. Does it mean the same thing as the beneficial owner, or it's a different
Correct.
concept?
Beneficial interest. Beneficial interest means actually the ownership or the beneficial interest. All the interest will be transferred from seller to the buyer. Same meaning, beta. This beneficial owner is the same meaning here.
Got it, sir. And yeah, I don't know whether this is a loophole which I was able to found, but yeah, in the section 9 miscellaneous point,
Hmm.
9.1, which talks about confidentiality. So there are
Right.
certain exceptions which are provided in clause B, and the point 2 of clause B states that standard practice of the parties.
Hmm.
So, and then there is no mention of the standard practice of the parties or the circumstances in which they can disclose the information.
Correct. Yes.
So they can just disclose it anywhere and claim it as a standard practice.
Correct. It happens. It very much happens. You got the point?
Yes.
What is the
so,
standard practice? It is a debatable topic.
Yes, sir. So that sums up the share purchase agreement. Sir. That
Correct.
was all the doubt.
Very nice.
Thank you, sir.
Any other doubt, Dhruv?
No, sir.
No? So proud of you. Very nice. Apart from Dhruv, any other doubt to anyone? I guess Akshit. No. You
Yes,
may
sir.
raise your hand.
So in the 9th clause of the share purchase agreement, and as
Right.
the non-confidentiality clause was about,
Hmm.
in case of breach of contract, standard practice yes, sir, this only.
Hmm.
In case that suppose it is a standard practice of any company to disclose the material facts or about the sale to any other third party, but it is not so it is not so the practice in the seller party. So can
Okay.
they file a lawsuit against them on the same disclosure?
Okay. You are saying that it is a general practice of one party, but not the general practice of another party, right?
Yes, sir. But as we said, that it is the discretion of the parties to decide what are the standard practices and what are
Parties. Parties. What is the meaning of parties, beta? Whether one party or jointly? Yes.
jointly, sir.
Jointly. You got the point now.
Yes, sir.
So
But
they
if
will join.
practice
Yes.
of one party harms the interest of another party, sir, then how will that be addressed?
Okay. For example, if the action of one party harms the another party, don't you think that there is the indemnity clause that will help in that case? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
The indemnity clause will help you in this case now.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Very nice. I'm so glad, Dhruv, Akshit, that you all are studying very hard. And I am giving you a commitment. This is the truth. You may ask your surrounding students also. Try to ask some question with respect to the share purchase or share subscription agreement. And you will feel very glad. You will feel very glad that you are learning the practical aspects of whatsoever we have taught or whatsoever we have learned through our experiences. I am giving all these things. I am not keeping myself anything. Whatsoever we have experienced, I am just transferring to all of you. So that whenever you start your practice or a job, you will not feel embarrassment. That's the only point. And I'm again saying you can approach me anytime to clear your doubts. I hope this introduction section with respect to business transfer agreement is clear to everyone. Jasmine is saying, sir, we have not received the recordings of 31st October. You will get the same by today itself, Jasmine. Everyone will get the same by today. There was some technical error. That's why the same could not be shared. But you will get by today itself. Okay. Thank you so much to everyone. Please take care. We will again meet at 9:30 p.m. on the next, or I would say the next upcoming weekend. Thank you so much to everyone. Please take care. Stay safe.